Hello. This story is very short, but it's all detailed of what happened to me and my friend. I was 19 years old, a college student. Me and my boyfriend were going through a rough patch since he cheated on me. His best friend is also separated with my best friend. They dated for 2 years and broke up about a month ago. So me and my best friend went to a movie at the local drive-in theater. Her ex-boyfriend, who we will call James since that is a douche name. Anyway, he was a frequent drug user, and he hit her a few times, and always promised it would never happen again. They split up due to him threatening to stab her and kill her, since her brother kept texting her to leave him. Anyway, she was on Snapchat. She was taking pictures of the drive-in, and one of his friends must have told him we were theirs, and she broke up and stopped talking to him. They got a dog together, but since she paid, she kept Chico. That is a dog, by the way. Anyway, he showed up with this girl who was a total smoke show, trying to make my friend jealous, which worked. Anywho, my friend went up and slapped him for being a prick. He then started to lie and said I slept with him, which made my friend get angry at me. I then said I would never let you touch me in a million years, and again my friend took that as a rude comment. She ended up going with him, and that other girl that was with him just took off like nothing happened. They ended up watching the movie together, but like always, a girl texted him saying she had a good time with him last night. She yelled, they fought in the middle of the drive-in. He then hit her, but this time it was out in the public. A big man called him out, calling him a coward for hitting a woman. He then got out of his car and said, "What did you say, you little bitch?" And the other man said, "What are you gonna do?" James then lunged at him and put a knife right through the guy's shoulder. That started absolute chaos as people tackled James and the cops were called. They searched his vehicle, where they found notes of me and my friend's name, apparent notes he was writing to Satan. They also found 3 different guns. They found a note that revealed his plans. His plans was to go there and shoot the drive-in up, but his plans must have changed since she went with him. This was a few years ago. I am no longer in the same town, nor do I talk to my old best friend. Ever since then, drive-in theaters scare me. Too many bad things happen there, and I'll never go back to one. If I were you, I'd stay away from there. They're bad news, and total bad luck. This next story happened to me when I was just a kid. My parents decided to bring us to a drive-in theater. It was the first time I ever went, and the last time ever. We were going to see the new Jurassic Park that was just coming out. We were so excited. When we drove in, there was a lot of people there, a lot of nice cars for the time being. We had blankets and snacks, everything was perfect. My mom told me to go grab everybody a soda. Me being young, I was kind of scared, but I didn't want to ruin the fun for my family. So we bought some popcorn and a few drinks. Now there was this really weird looking guy to the right of us in a very nice car. He kept making eye contact with my mom, which wasn't strange because back then my mom was very beautiful. My father was more of a strict, mean man, and he confronted the man about it, telling him not to look at his wife, and if not, my father would hurt him. Us being kids, we were very terrified about this experience, but we got back to the movie. Now, we're about an hour and a half into the movie, or so. I'm not exactly sure, it was a long time ago. Our father had gone to the bathroom, and he has been gone for about 5 to 10 minutes, when this man comes back, and he starts talking with my mother, and my mother did not want to talk back to him. He ended up grabbing my sister's hand and trying to run off with her. My mom chased, and the man hit my mother as he was trying to run away with my sister. He didn't get far, as he was tackled by a bunch of other parents. We phoned the cops. They locked him up. I'm not sure exactly what happened to him. He was just put in the back of the car. My parents never talked about the situation ever again, but just thinking about it, why would somebody just want to hurt us for no reason? It was just a very scary situation. I'm sure it wasn't as bad as I thought it was, but being young, it very, very much terrifies me. I can still remember the man's face and the noises he was making when he was taking away my sister. He was growling and grunting. I don't know how to explain it. Like I said, I didn't know what happened to the man, or who he was. Until just a few weeks ago. I asked my mother if they ever heard anything. She told me they did, and just didn't want to tell us kids. My mom worked in a business office, and there was this man who used to have a crush on her, who ended up getting half his face burnt off in a fire. That was the man who was there. He was a stalker of my mother. When they went to his house after they arrested him, they found pictures of her and just other weird stuff about her. We never figured out what happened to the man, though. I just hope he's locked up or just far away, and I hope he cannot hurt anybody else. 20 years later, I have my own kids now. I just couldn't imagine being in my mother's situation at that time. I'm really lucky to have great parents who protected me from people like that, and I hope I never run into anybody like this again in my life, and I hope you don't either. I was 13 at the time. Me and my friends used to go to a drive-in theater near town. One time, there was a loud, obnoxious man who you could tell had a mental illness, and he was very, very drunk. Anyway, back to the story. Me and my friends used to go hang out there and try to flirt with girls, as young boys do. Me and my 4 friends were having a good time when this drunk weird man offered us booze. My oldest friend, who was 15, replied yes, which I thought was a dumb mistake. The guy also offered drug gummies. My family was very religious, so I declined, but 2 of my 4 friends took a drink and took those drugs. I was very upset at the time, but they said, hey, you gotta try new stuff before you're too old. I didn't agree with taking drugs and alcohol from a stranger, but I thought, it's their decision, I guess. Anyway, me and this girl, I'll call her Nat, kinda had a thing. We kissed once, but being religious, we never did anything more than that. But our families are somewhat close. We're not related, but we've been scared to tell our families how we feel about each other. Anyway, we were just chatting, and then her group of friends called her back where they were sitting, which was the far side from us. About 25 minutes into the movie, my 2 friends started acting strange, saying this drive-in is haunted, and these ghosts and demons are going to eat them. Me and my other friends laughed at the 2. They were real goofballs, so we didn't think they were being serious. Now, I went for a walk, and I ran into Nat about 40 minutes into the movie. Being happy, I gave her a hug and kissed her. And then she told me that there was this creepy man who offered them drinks as well. But they declined, as the one girl said he was a known sex offender and a drug dealer. They told security, who chased him out of there, but did not catch him. Anyway, so Nat went back with her friends, and I went back to my group. Now, my one friend said he wanted to go home. Now, out of all us kids, he was the toughest. He was the alpha of our group, I suppose. And I was just a weird, quiet kid in the group. He said he felt sick. My other friend said, probably from those guys' drinks and those gummies he took, you idiot. He didn't think much of it. Anyway, he took off. He was a big kid, 6'5". At the age of 15, he was tall and bulky. Now, that meant the biggest kid in our group was 5'9". I was only 5'7" and very skinny. Take in mind, I'm only 13 at this time. Now the movie ended, and Nat's friends went home, so she asked to tag along with us. I was kind of afraid, but I didn't want to act like a coward in front of her. But I got very scared at night. 2 more of my friends left, which left me, Nat, and my other friend, Nick. Now, Nick is my best friend of the group. He took the drink, but not the drugs from the man. Anyway, the next show started around 9:30. The show will end around 11:15, I believe it was. Nick said bye to us and took off around 10:45. His parents offered me and Nat a ride home, but she insisted we walked home, as we only lived 10 to 15 minutes away from there. Now I thought, why not? And I waved Nick and his mom away. We finished the movie, and she said it was the happiest she's been. I felt proud and happy that I made somebody else happy. She was 14 and the sweetest person ever. The movie ended, and we head to the main gate to leave. Now again, I could see the weird man. He headed towards us, and we're on one side of the street, and he's on the other side. And he yelled, "Hey, you fucking slut. You told the security guard on me." Now me, trying to be tough and stand my ground for her, I said, "Hey, asshole, fuck off, you pussy." And he said, "What'd you say to me now?" Now she was scared, and he said, "Come over here and fight me, tough guy." I took my backpack off and I ran towards him. About halfway into the middle of the road, I stopped. And I said, "You're not worth my time." He said, "You're a coward. Probably can't treat your woman right." I was scared, but acting tough. And then he yelled, "I'll follow you, and I'll get you." Nat was terrified. We walked home, and about 5 minutes away from our house, we could see him in his van. She said, "I can't let him know where I live." I said, "Don't worry." I confronted the man and knocked on his car window and just said, "Hey man, I'm sorry about before. Just go and leave us alone." He whispered out his window, "I'll get your girlfriend, and I'll kill her." Now I said, "What?" But my voice screeched. You could hear I was scared now. And then he mumbled, "Not so tough now, boy." So now I walked back, grabbed her hand, and ran through a different yard. It wasn't her house. I took the alley until we were upon her house. She was scared, and went inside fast, saying bye and giving me a hug. I could tell she was scared. I headed home. I was still about 5 minutes away from my house. So I hit the main road, as the alley wasn't an access point to my house. I was walking for about 2 minutes when I heard a bush move. I was frozen, wondering what that could be. And then my worst nightmare came true. The man jumped out at me, and he mentioned my family's name, and said, "Ooh, your dad owes me a favor, and you're gonna pay it for him." He then grabbed a switchblade and cut my cheek, also mumbling my father's name, and he said I also owed him money for the drugs my friends took. But luckily, someone was walking their dog and heard me scream. He then pushed the blade deeper into my face, causing more blood to come out. The man's dog bit the guy, and the man with the dog jumped on him and held him down. He told me to run to a house and ask them to dial the police. It was not 5 minutes later the cops came and arrested him, and they told me I'll be okay. My parents were livid and grounded me for a week. Worst thing too was the man was released due to the police not reading his Miranda rights, which is total BS due to him cutting my face. I now have a permanent scar due to this, but I'm still lucky to have my life. My mom and dad divorced after my dad would not tell my mother what the man meant by my father owing him a debt. This was the last time I went to a drive-in theater. I don't think I'll ever go again. I'll end this story off with a good note. Me and Nat got married, and we have 2 beautiful children. This story happened a good amount of time ago, and I feel okay talking about it. I cannot let this ruin your driving experience. I'd still go if I were you, but I just couldn't go because I could not fathom the pain I'd feel. But if I were you, I'd go for sure before they all close, and you'll never get that amazing experience. Hey, thank you for watching my video. If you stuck around to the end, thank you so much. You guys can comment or email me stories. You guys can direct message me on YouTube too, and give me stories. You can tweet at me. My Twitter is Weagles. I love to hear from my fans. Thank you guys for watching, and have a good one.